Alright guys, so watch this video for Wednesday, June 13th. As you probably know, I did not trade yesterday or today. Took a 4-day week and haven't done that in a long time. It looks like I didn't miss very much as far as overall market action. It looks like Monday the market opened, had kind of a narrow range, closed about where it opened, and you could make the same argument for today. So if I had to guess, they probably had some great spots in the chat room because the teamwork in there is fantastic. I literally have not spoken to one person from chat. I've really kind of tried to stay off the grid and just, kind of recenter myself. So be back at it tomorrow, though. And here, after looking over a bunch of charts tonight, is what I found that could be interesting for possible trades tomorrow. SYK, 2 nasty days down. I read the news, possibly acquiring Boston Scientific. It's fallen pretty far on that news in 2 days, so pretty good candidate for a possible bounce tomorrow. TPIV had that massive move. Let's see, this would have been Friday. Now you got a couple days lower on declining volume. Pretty good setup for a turn back up tomorrow. VSTM tried to break out here last week, and now it's come back in 4 days in a row, right into that area we call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20 day. Pretty good place for it to possibly turn back up. CODX, which I'd been watching before I took my extended weekend. It looks like just a couple days lower still. Volume's really dried up. We're also down in that buy zone between the 8 and the 20 day. Certainly worth watching for a turn back up tomorrow. AXON, another very strong move here, and then the gap up, and it's really kind of tapering back down now on declining volume. Again, another one's pretty good setup for a possible bounce. Who knows if they'll be tomorrow or if they'll ever bounce, but a lot of these are setting up pretty well. It certainly deserved to be on a chart for day traders like myself. AYTU, one of these sub-dollar ones, but massive volume. I have to kind of zoom in. Massive volume today. Today's Tuesday, sorry. And it looks like made a run from 32 cents all the way to 45 on an intraday basis. Pretty nice percentage move. Gave back a lot of those gains by the end of the day. Let's look at it on 5-minute candles, kind of get a feel for what happened today. So really strong morning move. Then it kind of held up well in the afternoon. A lot of times if you don't get the afternoon break of the earlier high, by the end of the day it tapers back off because people that were loading up here looking for a new high of day didn't get it. But for me, I look at this and say, it held up well enough to watch tomorrow. AMDA, nice volume for this stock. I don't know, a little over a month ago, this thing ran from $1.06 to almost $4.20 in a little bit over one session before reversing. Then had the gap all the way back down. So a really weird chart, but nice volume today, and a high of 126 before closing at 118. So closing fairly strong. I think it's worth watching for a follow-through day tomorrow. SENS, I don't love this one. But you did top out back here in April right at $4. Then yesterday hit $4 again, sold off, and then today right back up to that area. So I don't know, even though it's extended from the moving averages, I think it's worth watching for maybe a high volume push through 4. And then lastly, I've got NLST on my list, which had this really nice 2-day move from basically 15 cents, and again, this is not my wheelhouse, this price range, but basically doubled in a session and a half before coming back down. And now you could argue it's kind of flagging and starting to turn back up. A little bit of extra volume today too. So, if you like these 20-cent stocks, for me, I never know how many shares to buy. You want to make sure it's liquid enough, to if you take a huge position. I just struggle with these position size-wise. I never know how many to buy and still not be in danger if it becomes illiquid. So I generally don't trade these, but we'll see. We'll see if it gives a low-risk setup tomorrow. That's it. We'll add some gappers together in the chat room in the pre-market, and that'll give us plenty to watch. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody on Wednesday.